Hey guys, D-Pad Danny back again with another pickups video. I know it's been a little while, but I wanted to wait until I had gotten a decent amount of stuff to kind of show you guys. I haven't been spending a ton, so I think I have enough that I can finally show you what I've been up to as far as pickups. First off, I went to Magfest again this year, some of you might know. I know I kind of promised a highlight video, but most of the time I spent palling around with my buddies, so I didn't really get a lot of footage. I got a little bit here and there, but not really enough to do a full highlights video, so I'm sorry for that. But here are some of the things I got at Magfest, or at least the ones that I can remember that I got at Magfest. I didn't buy a ton of games, but I got a few, so let's start off with Castlevania Circle of the Moon. This is a very good game. I believe it was a launch title for Game Boy Advance. It's a very Metroidvania style, which a lot of the portable ones are. I think this was the first Metroidvania game that they came out with following Symphony of the Night, and I think it's just great. It's really fun, a lot of customizable options for your weapons and elements and stuff. Really fun game. If you haven't played it, check it out. Castlevania Circle of the Moon for Game Boy Advance. I also got Out to Lunch. This is a game I've seen before. Don't know much about it, or I didn't know much about it until I bought it. One of my favorite games is Panic Restaurant, and this looked like it could be a poor man's version of it. I popped it in, and it's actually more closer to like Burger Time than anything. It's kind of a puzzle platformer sort of area. You have to take out all the food and then make your way to the exit in a certain amount of time. You can stun them by throwing salt shakers at it, or at the enemies. So it's very similar to Burger Time. It's okay. It's not really my bread and butter, but whatever. I thought it was cool, so I picked it up. I also have Arkanoid Do It Again. Now, I'm sure you've played the original Arkanoid or Breakout. You have the paddle on the bottom, bounce the ball and break the bricks. A lot of fun. This is just the Super Nintendo sequel to the NES/arcade version. Excuse me. And I also got a reproduction cartridge of Final Fantasy V. Final Fantasy V was not released here, as you may or may not know. At least not on the Super Nintendo. It wasn't released here until it was on Final Fantasy Anthologies for the PlayStation, which came paired with this and Final Fantasy VI. Good game. I've been wanting a reproduction of it for a while so I can play it on original hardware, so I have it now, so that's pretty cool. And as far as games from Magfest, that's really about it. I didn't get any other games. I didn't spend a lot this year. I didn't have as big of a budget as last time. I did get a few notable little doodads. I got this really cool plush Ultros. I saw these last year and I passed on it and I regretted it, and I was really hoping that the girl that had made these was going to be there this year, and she was, so I had to get him. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Little Ultros. That's awesome. If you don't know, Ultros is a recurring boss in Final Fantasy VI. I also got this really cool picture. I saw this and I was just like, man, this is the most adorable thing in the world. So I got this adorable picture of Mega Man and Rush. I love it. I love it. It's awesome. So I got that. That's really cool. And I saw my buddy Square Painter there. For those of you that don't know, Square Painter, check him out on Twitter. He does pixel paintings. Basically, he is what he says, Square Painter. He makes a grid on a canvas. He paints the sprites or a scene or whatever. And I wanted to buy one of his pieces last year, but I didn't get around to it. So this year I got this cool piece. It's Laughing Kefka, also from Final Fantasy VI. It's a fantastic game. Yeah, so I'm really happy I have one of his pieces now, and it was really cool to see him. He's a great guy. Look him up on Twitter, like I said, Square Painter. And that was it for Magfest pickups. Like I said, I didn't have a lot to spend this year, but I have picked up some other stuff throughout the year. Let's start with this one. I got at my local game store. Calibri for the 32X. I've been wanting this one for a while. Partially because I want to try to get as close to completion on 32X games as I can, and partially just because it looks neat. It's a shooter, basically. It's very bright colored, very visually appealing, but you play as a hummingbird. It's really bizarre. After having tried it, I can't get past the first area. Like, there's not even any enemies. I'm just in a single map screen, and I go all over. I don't know what to do. So if anyone has any tips on how to actually play Calibri, let me know, because I don't have the manual and I haven't really done any research on it, but it's still, I still like the concept. It's a cool game. So I got that. A couple Game Boy Advance games I got at the same place, Matt's Game Exchange. If you're ever in North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, I picked up a copy of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which is the first portable version of Final Fantasy Tactics. This one's a lot of fun. I also picked up Golden Sun, which is a good Game Boy Advance RPG. It's the first one in a series of, I want to say, 3 or 4 games. I don't recall exactly. But it's pretty good. You hear my cat whining in the background? She's whining about something, I don't know what. Anyway, I also got Gradius Galaxies, which is a port of Gradius, but it's its own game. It's like, I haven't played it in a while. I played the crap out of this. Actually, my best friend let me borrow it, and this is the game that I brought with me when my sister was in labor with my oldest nephew. So I beat it on all the difficulty levels over the course of, I don't even know how many hours, because it was a long labor. She was in labor for a while. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just a portable version of Gradius, different levels, but familiar scenes. You got the Easter Island heads and a lot of other enemies that are familiar to the series, but a very good installment of the series. If you like Gradius games and you have not played Gradius Galaxies, check it out. Okay, let's see. We got some NES games here. Okay. Actually, yeah, Casino Kid. It's a casino game. It was at the same store, Matt's Game Exchange. These are from different visits and such. It's a casino simulation game. It's not very good. I'm not big into them, but it was cheap. It was in decent condition. Just another comment to the stack. We have a very, very faded Blues Brothers, which is a shame because if you look, other than that little bit of adhesive right there, the label's in really nice condition. It's just the entire front of the cartridge, so you can see the dividing line. The entire front of the cartridge is just extremely sun damaged. Blues Brothers, yeah, based off of the sketch, Saturday Night Live sketch, and later the movie. Not a very good game. Slippery controls, just not a very good effort. By Titus. I don't know if Titus has made any decent games. I've started streaming on Twitch, and my wife streams with me sometimes. We like to play like board games and party games and stuff like that. So I picked up Anticipation. This is a lot more fun than people give it credit for. But you need to make sure you turn the computers off because the computers will cheat. It's basically Pictionary. They'll draw one little line, and the computer will be like, "Oh, I know what this is. This is the Leaning Tower of Pisa," or just something obscure that how would you know based off of one line. So if you turn the computer players off and you just play with 1, 2, or 3 friends, because it's 4-player, it can be a lot of fun. The only downfall is that there's only so many pictures, and after you play a couple times, you'll start recognizing what the pictures are before you should be able to recognize what the pictures are, and so it kind of loses some of its fun at that point. So, but the first couple times, it's a lot of fun. Check it out. Don't let people tell you that it sucks, because it really doesn't. Family Feud. It's pretty self-explanatory based off of the show. It's, you know, they give you categories, you try to guess what fits in the categories, and you play family against family. It's pretty basic. So, Wheel of Fortune Junior Edition. I have regular Wheel of Fortune, which is a lot of fun, and Junior Edition, it just has more categories. It doesn't really feel like a Junior Edition because none of the puzzles seem easier per se, but it's Wheel of Fortune's fun. It's one of the ones me and my wife have been playing. And I also got Wheel of Fortune featuring Vanna White, which I hadn't played it yet because I actually just got it, but it seems like it's significantly different than the others. Just looking at the screenshots on the back, the other two have the same style, the same interface basically, and this has a different one. So I'm wondering if this was the first one of the 3 or if this was the last one. So either way, it was made apart from the other 2 because it's very different. Blades of Steel. I didn't have this one. I know it's kind of common, but look how clean this is. Like, look at it. It's so clean. The label is in such good condition. The cart is just unfaded and not even any dust. Like, it was stored well, and even the pins, I don't know how you can see that. No, probably not that well. But the pins, it doesn't even look like it's ever been played. And I love getting games like that because they're in such good condition. And here's one. I bought a heavy hitter off of my want list recently. So now I need a new most wanted for my NES library. But with Christmas money, I bought Wacky Races. This is based off the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Wacky Races, Adventures of Dick Dastardly. Pretty fun. I beat it the first time I played it, similar to how it was with Panic Restaurant when I bought that. But it's made by Atlas, of all people. It's a fun little goofy platformer, and it's not bad. I mean, if you have the cash to get it, try it out, or even if you just want to play it on emulator, it's still pretty good. It's Wacky Races. A lot of fun. I'm really glad I have this one. Let's see, some random Worms Armageddon from Dreamcast. My buddy picked this up for me at a good price. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I hadn't played it, but the Worms games are basically like... It's like Lemmings, but it's versus. So you can destroy the world or the environment, but you're pretty much just trying to take out the other player's troops. It's on a side-scrolling kind of play field. It's alright. I mean, I've played other versions of it. I hadn't played this one yet because back burner list, it's far from the top of my list. Another one I got that I apparently never took the sticker off of. I got so many games I need to clear adhesive off of hit with the Goo Gone. But I got a copy of Suikoden. I've heard nothing but good things about this game. It's an RPG, there's a ton of characters to choose from and build your party with, and I've always heard really good things. I've never played it. I bought it a couple months ago and honestly still have not played it because, again, the stuff I'm playing, like, I want to finish something or something's higher on the list, but I do want to get to this at some point because I'm intrigued. It's supposed to be really good, and now I have it. Hey, Suikoden, yay! I think it's pronounced Suikoden. I always used to call it Suikoden, but I've heard it pronounced Suikoden, and I'm like, with the U and the I, that makes sense. So one of my wife's coworkers had a bunch of PlayStation games that he was clearing out he didn't want, so he was like, hey, you want them? And we were like, okay, yeah, sure. So we got some free donated PlayStation games. So we got Williams' Greatest Arcade Hits, pretty self-explanatory again, it's got arcade hits, it's got Robotron, Defender, Defender 2, Bubbles, Joust, and Sinistar. All pretty good games. You might have played them in the arcade, or you might have played them on like Windows 3.1 or 95, I don't know. One of the early Windows operating systems had an arcade pack on it that had a lot of these games on it, and that's where I know them from, first and foremost. I mean, I'm aware that they're arcade games, but I've never seen most of them in the arcade. Tekken 3, classic fighting series. A lot of people like the Tekken series. My wife is one of them. I'm not a big fighting game guy, other than like Super Smash Brothers and every once in a while like Soul Calibur or something like that. But I've never got into Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, or I don't like Virtua Fighter. But I never got into Tekken either. But this is supposed to be one of the better ones, from what I understand. So my wife was pretty stoked about that. So Tekken 3. I also got Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone. Hadn't played much Harry Potter games. I like the movies okay. Never read the books. It's based off of the first movie. You're Harry Potter and the book is all messed up. You're Harry Potter, you go through and do Harry Potter stuff that you see in the first movie. So, sorry. Harry Potter. Jet Moto. This was, I think, essentially Sony's answer to Wave Race. Wave Race 64. Yeah, you're basically on like Sea-Doos or whatever you want to call them, but they go further, and you can go on land, and there's like snow levels and stuff. It's kind of weird. It's alright, but I always like Wave Race 64 better, and nowadays I don't even really like playing Wave Race 64 too much. So yeah, Medieval 2. Never played the first one, but this one's pretty cool. It's there's no manual. It's just the disc and it's I forget, it's like you're in a museum and there's some sort of dark force at work, so you resurrected and you get a sword and you're like fighting other undead things and stuff, and I assume there's like a greater goal, but I don't know what it is. A lot of these I only just tested out to play. NASCAR 98. It's NASCAR. It's it's rally racing. It's, your pretty standard NASCAR racing stuff. And finally, this freaking game. Reboot. Do you remember the show Reboot back in, was it late 90s, early 2000? Computer animated, like they were in like the Matrix sort of type theme where, I don't know, I never really watched much of it, but I always found the animation kind of unappealing. This game sucks. It's not good. My wife tried it out, and I tried it out by proxy, you know, vicariously through her, and I don't have any desire to play this game, and I don't think she does either. Not very good. It's a bad game. Don't play it. Don't. But anyway, guys, that's what I've gotten recently. I'm sure there's a few things I forgot, but again, I don't know. Like these, I've gotten these over the course of a couple months and such, and I really should start making a list as I get it. I mean, I have my full list of like games and stuff that I use for insurance purposes and to have them cataloged and inventoried, if you will. But I need to start keeping a ledger of what I get when I get it, so when I do these pickups videos, I can, you know, I can actually remember everything I got. Because I know there's some games I'm forgetting. I know there's some Super Nintendo games and some NES games that I just can't think of, you know, that I've gotten recently. So, but this is the majority of it. Again, sorry it's been so long since the pickups video, and hopefully it won't be as long till the next one. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm D-Pad Danny. I will see you next time.